Hello, I'm John Sargent, and welcome to Argumental, the show where the hottest names in comedy debate the biggest issues facing mankind. Issues like murder. Why isn't there a law against it? How much better would synchronised swimming be if they added a shark? I love EastEnders. My favourite bit was where Phil slept with Grant's wife Sharon, and then Grant discovered that Phil knew and beat him up in the Queen Vic. Then Grant slept with Tiffany and she got pregnant and left Grant for Tony, and then came back and she died. That was a good bit. It's our popular culture round now, where tonight's debate is on a question which has nothing to do with me. Old age. Yes, old age. Our 70 years and 10. Or if you're Scottish, 70 years and 10. But is it true that you're only as old as the person you feel? Let's find out with the help of tonight's special guests, Brian and Shirley. Marcus, you're up first. Meet Brian and Shirley.
Good evening, Brian and Shirley. How'd you do, Shirley? Very nice to meet you, Brian. A pleasure.
With them in mind, the statement I want you to argue is this: old people shouldn't be allowed to have sex.
Who said?
Who said?
Well, please, allow me to explain.
Right.
Brace yourselves. A lot of people will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that sex gets better with age. That's not technically true. You're just more grateful when it happens. Listen, there is a certain age... There's a certain age where the body's fluids stop running. Now, no, I don't want to be too graphic, but I don't know if anyone here has ever tried to eat muesli without any milk. It's not easy, is it? Be honest, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that should be inserted into people of this age is a hearing aid, a catheter, or a Worthless original. Huh? This is a fine-looking lady, and I'm sure you've led a rich and beautiful and wonderful life. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to see a cock in that mouth. You don't. Ask yourselves. Be honest with yourselves. No. Listen, with old age comes memory loss, ladies and gentlemen. It's perfectly normal and perfectly acceptable for an elderly person to walk into a room and go, now, what did I come in here for? That's not so nice when you're having sex, though, is it? People say, you know, once you have that experience, it lasts longer. No disrespect, but yeah, it would. Take me around 40 years to get one off in there. Cross the line. Ladies and gentlemen, old people should not be allowed to have sex. You know it makes sense. Vote red.
Well done. Next up, opposing Marcus, but supporting Brian and Shirley's needs, it's Stephen.
Shirley, how do you do?
Brian, nice to meet you.
And I want you to argue that old people should be allowed to have sex.
First and foremost, who here can deny these two good people the pleasures of the flesh? Look at this. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. Look at this man's face. That's the face of a man who needs it. Look at it. Now, you are a couple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, how long have you guys been together?
Over 40 years.
Over 40 years. Did you hear that? Yeah. 40 years. And is it still going strong?
Yes.
Of course it is. How are we meant to police this kind of thing? Are we going to have little grandkids ringing the helpline? Nan and Grandad are fucking again. And also define old people. What's old? I mean, look at the lovely John Sargent. He's smiling behind that desk. Not because he's happy working here. There's somebody under there looking after him. Right now. The Kama Sutra, the Bible of sex and sensuality, that was not written by an 18-year-old spotty youth sitting in his bedroom with a box of man-sized tissues beavering away. It wasn't. When you do any kind of activity, the more you do it, the more experience you will have at it. So by the definition, their 40 years of rumpy-pumpy must be explosive. God, I just can't wait to hear you go, wow! Well, I can, but... And you're going to start looking at old people in different ways, you know? You get a phone call, oh, Granny's had a fall, and you think, oh, you had a hip done again. No, she had a fall because she's having rough sex. I know it's something we don't want to think about, but it happens. If I get to your age, sir, and I can still bang one off, I say salute you. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to vote for the blue.
Thanks, Stephen. Sean and Rufus, would you like to add anything in support of your teammates?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Stephen closes on a very sentient point there, John. As an older man, if Marcus were to stop you from having sex, how would he earn his pocket money? I'm saying maybe instead of banning old people having sex, let's instead change the way we feel about old people having sex and make it more acceptable. Because you know how you have, like, a penny for the guy? What if we had, you know, wank off an old bloke?
You're arguing this from such a young perspective. Oh, the things you do when you're young, you should be able to do forever. Listen, I was into breakdancing and skateboarding when I was a teenager. I don't want to be doing that when I'm 80 either. I'll look like a twat.
And I'd wager that you looked like a twat back then.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you all. So, should old people be allowed to have sex? Once again, the studio audience will decide who made the best case. It's a blue card for Stephen and Rufus and a red one for Marcus and Sean. Vote now. So, that's a win for the Blues. They've convinced the audience that old people should be allowed to have sex. That's great news for Stephen and Rufus, and even better news for Brian and Shirley. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And good luck. Despite my age, I'm still good in bed. I often get straight off to sleep without even needing a story.